we weren't really sure what was going on, and then finally I kind of figured out. But there's this moment where I went, Shaq, Shaq, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And it was literally a 30-second delay, and he was just standing there staring at his screen. And then it all came in at once. So then he just kept going, Yep, I can hear you. And then he was like, yes, bro. Yes, I can hear. He was like, got all like he was like so mad at me. And I was like, dude, no way. Shaq hates me. I'm the only person in the world that Shaq hates.
I'm appreciative of this opportunity, and I'm thankful that you are here. I'm 100% appreciative that you are here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me, guys. And like I said before, like the welcome is awesome. It's cool. It's always cool to be somewhere where like people are like appreciative of you. It's like a dope feeling. I'm sure one day you guys will be hopping on someone else's podcast and they'll be saying the same things about you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that a lot, man. I really do appreciate that. So I'm going to kick this off, man. And the first question I am going to ask you is, how does it feel to be married? Because I'm 4 years younger, so I'm dangerously approaching that area, that range.
Do you have a girl?
I do.
Oh dang! Does she want it? Is she pushing you to get the ring?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I
mean, she's thinking about it. I guarantee you, she's thinking about it. Even if she says she's not thinking about it, she's thinking about it. That's for sure.
Yo, what is up, Art?
How you doing, bro? It's good, man. It doesn't feel super different, but I guess the coolest part about getting engaged and getting married is at some point, like I was dating Libby for like 6 or 7 years, and at some point it's like you're not single, and so you're like not getting to like go out to the bars, like go live the single life, but then you're also not married, so you're not like getting all the benefits, which are like your family's super pumped, your girlfriend's mom likes you, what I mean, like, cause she's like pressing to get you to marry her. So I felt like when I finally did make that commitment, I got to like experience a lot more. Like the next chapter of life, it was like I was just stuck in this limbo where like I wasn't single but I wasn't married, and then so now it's cool to see like your whole family come together and everything during that season, and it was a really fun process, and now it kind of just feels like we were dating, and I guess we have some tax breaks now, so that's cool.
Man, look, I appreciate that, man. And that's beautiful, bro. That's a beautiful thing, man. I know it's beautiful to be married. And like I said, hey, man, I'm proud of you, dog, because that's a momentous thing, man. I hope that you guys live in love and happiness for the rest of your life, man.
Yeah, we will, bro. We will. She doesn't game though, but I think that's okay. It's I don't know if I could handle her, all day, and then we hop into like a team TFT game together or a Fortnite game together. I don't know if.
Does she don't game at all?
No, and I had a buddy actually who I used to live with, and he started gaming a ton, and his like girlfriend was like, "Oh, like to hang out with him more, like I'll start gaming."
What's good?
And they would argue a lot, and then they started gaming together, and it just added a whole new dynamic of arguing, because like then all of a sudden they're playing Fortnite together, and she's like, "Hey, can you drop me those minis?" And he's like, "No, well I actually need the minis," and then she's like, "Well, fuck you." She's like, "You fucking serious? You always do this to me." And they're like, they're like arguing about like mini potions in Fortnite and like drop spots, and like sometimes it's good to have your separate things.
They pull the "if you love me, you'll give me the big pot."
Literally stuff like that. Like you're always like, you didn't do the dishes either, and you're not gonna give me the big pot. Like, so crazy.
I know everybody has, certain questions, and I know everybody wants to know, what's it like working with Clicks, the NRG Castle, the house, everything, Bucky and all them? What's it like working with them? Especially you, me and you are kind of in the positions where, we're bringing in kids and we have to be role models, leaders towards them. So how are you helping with their growth and their success and all that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, working with talent like that, and I call them talent, but they're also my friends, and I think that's an important distinction, is that you really have to like earn their trust, because I think a lot of people can look at big talent and maybe get angry that they don't want to work with you or work with me or anyone. I say you as in anyone who wants to work with someone like Tim the Tatman or Dr. Disrespect, or even a Clicks or a this or a Scump or someone like that. And Rightfully so, because they have a huge audience. They know exactly what they're doing. They're risking a lot with all the relationships they take. They have no idea who's just trying to take advantage of them, who's going to help them, who's going to do this. And so I think a big part of even just like creating content with a lot of these big streamers is first like slowly like building like trust with them and
Mm,
like showing clicks that like yo like I actually care about you. I'm not like some like Hollywood dude who's just gonna like use you and like go do this or go do that. Like I'm actually trying to build together. And so like the more like Clicks and I got to know each other, the more like the other Fortnite guys got to know each other. And like we say like NRG fam,
mm.
and we mean it for sure. Like
Yeah.
it's the one hashtag that's kind of stuck around even without us trying. And it for real feels like a family. Like, dude, Benji Fishy retired Fortnite to go play Valorant, and I think it was like he kind of was like hesitant because I'm sure his agents were like, "Yo, you're gonna quit your game. You're gonna try to go pro in Valorant." Like, they were like, "I don't know if like an org would really want to support you doing that and pay you a salary to do that. Like, you're walking away from what you signed up for." And when he hit us up, we were like, "Are you kidding me? Of course we're going to support you through that." And he was like, "I can't believe this. Like, this is incredible. Like, I love you guys." And so
Mm,
that's like the type of people that we are. And I think because of that, like, great content comes from having great relationships. And I tell like all the guys at the Fortnite house now, I feel like we're starting to make some of the best content we've ever made because for the first time, it just feels like it's a bunch of friends in the house having fun together. And that's when the best content is made, when you surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who all care about each other, who aren't trying to one up or like get ahead of each other in clout, but like
mm.
are just trying to like work together, have fun, be friends, and do their thing. So that's what I would say is the the key and what it's like working with some of the bigger talent is like relationships are so important, and making sure that everyone takes care of each other
What do you
on
think is
both
worth the
sides of the
call?
relationship is first and foremost what you need to do before you even pull out a camera.
Yeah, and I feel that 100% because like I have a lot of players because we can both be honest, especially in the position that we're in with our organizations and where Fortnite is. It's like let's be real, Fortnite is they looking too hot, as
Yeah,
sometimes. So it's like I have players or people come to me and they're worried that they will get released or something because they want to move the Val or something. I'm like, no, like just stream IRL or something. Like, go ahead, bro. Like
yeah.
I'm not tripping. I'm with you. I can't play it either. So it's like I understand. So
Dude,
I'm not about yeah.
Phase
Mhm.
Clan literally like Phase Apex talks about it all the time. When they switched to IRL content, people did not like it. Like they had to grind through a period of like hate and go back to playing video games, go back to trick shotting before the Cloud House even became a
Mhm.
thing. So there's just sometimes patches you got to go through together, and I think in the way the gaming world exploded, it became so much about numbers that people forgot. You
Mhm.
fell off is such a common phrase, right? But it's more
Yeah.
like, no, we're just rebuilding, I think is a
Yeah.
better way to put it.
And that's what we're going through right now because I've made the switch. Like I said, I'm following kind of you guys and 100 Thieves model to where we have this content, then we have pages that's posting the gaming, and so we can feed into each part of our community. And I really enjoy that. So it's like I'm showing love to creators. Then we have the gaming, where you guys rock like when we had a Rocket League team, man. They absolutely. I know y'all Rocket League team is crazy. Y'all
Yeah.
Rocket League team is insane.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And that's the other thing too, is like a lot of people know us for different things in different communities, and it's this weird effect where like, if you're talking to an Energy Rocket League fan, they'll be like, "Yo, Rocket
Mm,
League made you guys. That's like what made you." And then we'll go to Fortnite,
mm,
Fortnite fans, dude,
mm,
17-year-old streamer made you, bro, and
yeah,
then you see another fan comment and they're like, "Yo, do you even know that they have Ace, who's
yeah,
like, a way bigger streamer than anyone in either of those two teams?" And then that person will be like, "You think Apex is big? Like, have you
yeah,
seen the numbers on Twitter for Valorant?" And so like it's something that it definitely like I think it's unavoidable to like not split up these gaming communities because they're so different and they're so separated. The way I always explain it is like, dude, sometimes people will be like, "Oh, you like," it's like being like going up to a guy in a bar who's watching a basketball game, and you're like, "Oh, you like sports?" And he's like, "Yeah, I like sports." And you're like, "Cool. Like, what'd you think of the semifinals doubles
Mm.
figure skating competition last night?" And he's
Mm.
like, "Well, that's not a sport. Like, that's like the how big of a
Yeah.
difference it is between games sometimes."
Yeah. I know you may not be able to say it even if it's in the works, but I'm gonna ask. Are we gonna never get NRG COD though? Like, what's up? Are we?
Yeah, so we have some Warzone creators. We have Joe Woe and
Mm.
Iceman. I don't think we'll ever get into the CDL. So we were in the CDL for like a brief moment. We were partnered with
Mm.
the Huntsman.
Mm.
And so that lasted for the first season, and then Hector actually like got Optic
Mm.
back, and so we went back to run Optic as more of like a standalone brand, and then they ended up getting acquired by Envy.
That's
Um,
good. Mm.
yeah, so that was kind of our story in a COD, and I would say this is kind of what I would say about that is
Mm.
I think in esports it matters a lot what game you're on top of.
Mm.
Like it's hard to justify being in a game unless you're one of like the top 3 teams. Not saying like people shouldn't be in a game if they're not top 3, but that should always be your goal. Is like, can I get
Mm.
to like the top 2 or top 1, or can I really own this community, or can we really own this game? And I feel like you're better off doing that. You know, no one. It's not a good model to be like, all right, I'm from Cleveland, so I can say this, but it's not a good model to be like, yo, we'll just be like the Cleveland Browns of esports, and like we'll just kind of like, or like the Cleveland sports of esports, and we'll just kind of have like a team and everything, and
Mm.
our fans will love us even though we suck and this and that. Like, it's just it's not as there's not enough to go around to
Mm.
be, 5th or 6th in the pack in any game.
Yeah. That's teaching me a little something right there. Yeah. Anybody got a question? I got a question. Anybody want to ask him
I mean,
anything? I know y'all been waiting to ask him a question.
if you don't mind, I'd like to go. So I've noticed a lot with NRG how like interactive they are with their community and their members, and I was just kind of wondering like, what are some tips or like strategies you look for to get your community engaged with what y'all are doing?
Yeah, do you mean like are like the people who follow us, or like the gamers,
Uh,
or like the pros and creators?
I mean, kind of both. So
Yeah.
like when you guys host different events, how to get your followers like engaging with those events.
Yeah. So I would say I would say it almost kind of goes hand in hand. Um, the best content is created when your creators are on board and involved. And like, I always kind of go by the philosophy that weigh in creates buy in. So the more that I can sit down with Clicks or Ace or any of our, big stars, the Rocket League guys, and say, hey, I always try to do enough work that I'm not showing up empty handed, but leave enough work left to do so that they can put their mark on it and feel like they own it. So, for example, like the Champions show, that was something that I came up with, and then I go to Clicks and I say, "Yo, here's what I'm thinking. Here's kind of the deal. What do you think about it? Oh, you should invite this person, this person, this person, and you should do this, and then we can make it like this, and you can do that." And I'm like, "Perfect." And I put his DNA in it. Day, what do you think we should do? Day's like, "Yo, it'd be dope if you did this," and all of a sudden, Day's bought in. And then now, instead of me just texting them on what time to show up, they're texting me the day before, like, "Yo, were you able to pull this off? Were you able to pull that off?" They're all jacked up. All of a sudden, they want their ideas to do well, so they're retweeting stuff. And it's just like, you can't if you start to treat people like, you're just using them to show up and for their followers, like, that's how it's going to feel, and they're not going to want to do that. But like, when you like work together as a team and like let creators like have a hand in what they're creating and make them feel proud and excited to show off what they're doing to their followers, and like they're able to put their DNA in it, I think they are going to interact with it 100 times more and be 100 times more excited about it. And then on top of that, when your creators are excited about something, that's when, all your fans and followers get excited too. And those guys will come in, and I mean, they're called influencers for a reason, right? They influence
Yeah.
what a lot of people think. And so if, your top guys, people that kids look up to, are saying this is cool, they're probably going to think it's cool. So that's that would be my answer to that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Anybody else have any? Just wokes. I know you.
Bro,
Yeah.
dude, I got a lot of shit. I'm not gonna lie. So,
Cool.
how do you balance the esports side and the content side of an organization? Because I know a lot of these teams are either good in esports or have really good content, and they can't balance it. So,
Yeah, dude, it's hard. It's really hard too because typically the best esports players are the ones who are like locking themselves in their room, never turning on a camera or sharing gameplay and like developing like insane strats, and like those are the guys that go out and win tournaments. Like honestly, the whole idea for the Champions show was I was like, there's gonna be a lot of kids who win this who like are just pros and like don't have time for content or this or that. And like I wanted to like make sure that those kids felt like they were celebrated and they were also stars and as popular as the content creators. And so that's why I like invited them all out to do all that stuff, because I figured like even though they're winning stuff, they probably don't have that experience. But I would say to balance it out, like you gotta let you have to winning is super important, and that's what Jamie has, our GM has like really instilled into me, is like you really have to let your players win or give them the best possible chance to win. And I know that sounds dumb, but I think there definitely is like a different line of thinking where it's like content is everything, which I am about, but also at the same time, if you have pro players who feel like they can't practice and they can't succeed because of the content, when they show up to those content shoots, they're going to be so pissed off at you. So like you need to make sure that first and foremost your players feel like they are in a position where they can win. They're getting what they need to get done. And then, when I talked to my Valorant team, or not my Valorant team, but our Valorant team about this, I kind of was like, yo, thank you guys. You thank them. You also have to be like, hey guys, like, this is the London Spitfire won the Overwatch League in the first season. And from then on out, they were really like, never became like that strong of an Overwatch brand compared to some of the other brands. Like the next season, the NYXL was big, or that was big. And it's kind of the same thing. Like if Optic wins the Call of Duty League, it goes crazy. If
You're right.
the Rocker wins it, it'll still go crazy, but like it's a different level of like people care about this. And so when you can kind of go to your esports competitors and be like, yo, I want to make sure that when you guys win, that you get celebrated. And doing some quick videos and some quick stuff like that, it's gonna make your achievements like worth even more. And there's gonna be a community to celebrate you, and it's gonna make everything you're doing that much more valuable. And as long as you find a good balance and you just get those players bought in, you can create some good content. But you definitely have to balance it. And Jamie would probably be really surprised that I'm saying winning is important, and so would my CEO Andy. But like there is a certain thing to it where it's like, hey, Sentinels are really popular because they started out really hot and they won a ton, and then also they had tens. So it was like a perfect recipe for success. And now, maybe they don't have to win anymore, but at some point in time, they were champions and they were winners, and they got people on their side.
thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else got any?
I got one.
Okay.
What would you give advice to someone that is an aspiring talent to kind of like be unique in this industry, like to make them stand out?
Yeah. Symphony is like my favorite example of this. Symphony did such a good job of when he came into Fortnite, he became known as the fastest editor in Fortnite and like found that little niche. And I always say like niche down to level up and like go small basically to get a big audience. And what I mean by that is like you want to be known as something. People watch you for this reason. So Symphony became the fastest editor, so now everyone goes into a stream and tries to see how he edits and why he's the fast setter, why people call him that. And that became like his brand. And then he switches to Warzone, and he had like okay viewership in Warzone for a little bit. And then we put him in a tournament with Scump, and that was really cool. And I think he picked up some viewership from that. But what really popped him off was then people started saying like he was like a hacker, or like he had like aim hacking or something. I forget the word for it. But he was like, everyone was like, yo, he's hacking, and he had like these crazy flicks and stuff, and then he would bait those on his stream. So he would like flick to walls and stuff to try to get people, like, to keep that narrative alive. And then all of a sudden he became known as, like, the most notoriously, like, it looks like this. He's the aimbot. He was like the human aimbot, right? And then so he became the human aimbot in Warzone. So then everyone goes to his thing to see like the human aimbot. And so I think that's like a good example of like, yo, you can't just be another pro player. If there's 100 pro players streaming, what's the one thing they're coming to watch you for? What's the one mechanic? What's the one personality trait? What's the one this? What's the one that? And like, I think it can get confusing sometimes because there's people like Ninja or Nick Merckx who are super entertaining and awesome, but a big part of their brand just becomes, hey, they're just the biggest. And some of the streamers are just, that's their brand, is that they're the biggest, and it can get confusing to be like, well, I'm just going to do what they do, and it's like, well, it doesn't work for you because you're not the biggest yet, and they can do certain things because that's their brand. But like, what are you going to do that's your thing that gets people to watch you, that separates you from the other pros? Because otherwise you're just one in, I mean, there's how many people at Predator and Apex, how many people in Champions League and Fortnite, how many pros, how many FNCS champions can barely hold a 50 viewer stream. Like, it's you have to be somewhat different, otherwise it's just not going to work.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody else got anything? Kiwi, don't be shy. He doesn't bite. I don't think. Not.
Currently, no.
If you don't mind me asking, I don't know how much of this you can disclose or not, but when you guys are looking for brand deals, like I'm pretty sure I saw you guys recently partnered with Rockstar Energy. It's super
Yeah,
sick, by the way.
they're
Their drinks
awesome.
are amazing. When you look for those things, what kind of like steps do you take to try to look for partnerships? Like, were you guys just like, man, I want to go for an energy drink right now, or
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, we have a sales team that works, all the time, fielding new opportunities, finding brands that want to get into the gaming space, and then we have a certain brand. We want to see if people want to buy into the energy story. We see if our stories are aligned, if we think it's going to go well. And then for me personally, I'm always looking for like a great content partner with sponsorship deals, and I'm always looking for people who are flexible and feel like they trust our content team and are coming to us because we're content experts. Because I never want to make an ad that's like, I just never want to get to a place where you click on one of our videos and the opening line is like, "What's up, guys? Welcome to the State Farm Insurance smash or pass these cars game." And within like the first 30 seconds, like, nothing interesting or wild could ever happen in this sponsorship video because it's sponsored and there's no realness to it. Like, I think that's why people love watching Speed. That's why people love watching like all these really crazy YouTubers and streamers, is because Gideon, because you hop on their videos and you have no, anything is up for grabs. What could happen in this stream? He could light a firework in his room and set his house on fire and have a policeman show up. Like, anything could freaking happen in these streams, and that's what keeps you motivated and focused. So I think that it's super important with brands and sponsors is that they have that mentality where they trust us enough where we never lose that touch in our content or whatever we do, that makes a viewer be like, okay, well, nothing interesting is going to happen in this video, or this is doesn't feel authentic, or like anything could happen.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody got anything else? Do you watch anime?
Dude, you DM me that before. I I don't, but I kind of used to. So I used to come home from school and watch Toonami, and I watched Rurouni Kenshin. I
Yeah.
loved that show. I watched this. I like the one with the spirit gun. I forget what that
No,
was called when they fight in the arena. What is it, Yu Yu Hakusho?
yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. And then I watched a decent amount of Dragon Ball Z.
Bless
But
him.
But yeah, but no, I never watched them like from start to finish. I would just catch like episodes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I know like random knowledge. I played like the Dragon Ball Z game. I can probably
Okay.
name a lot of Dragon Ball Z characters.
Okay.
I watched the whole Frieza part. I watched the whole Boo part. I
Yeah.
didn't stick around when they like turn red Super Saiyans. I know that's a thing, and they like turn into these like massive creatures. But
Yeah.
I was around in the early days for sure. I
Okay.
liked it a lot.
You gotta get into like Demon Slayer or Sword Art Online or stuff like that. Those are some good ones.
Sword Art Online. What's the one that's like dot hack sign? That was one that I kind of watched that I thought was interesting. Or maybe dot hack sign was a video game that I played. But
Oh, you're right. What is that? What is that? Thanks. What is that? Anybody
Sword,
know?
I don't
yeah,
know.
dot hack sign was like you were in a video game, but it was hacked slash sign. Yeah, dot hack sign is an anime television series. It's pretty. That one was pretty dope. But Jamie watches. Jamie watched all of Naruto, and then he also watched all of. He recommended me a Hunter x Hunter.
No, don't. No. Went on a
Or Hunter.
2 hour
It's
rant.
not Hunter x Hunter, right? It's something else. I said it wrong.
No. I'm saying I went on a 2 hour rant about that show. Don't even waste your breath. Please don't even waste your good energy on that. I do got a question though about Full Squad Gaming. You are the CEO of that, and
Yes.
I've seen what's it like working with Shaq and stuff. I've seen that. What's it like working with Shaq, and you work with Shaq and all that. What was that
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, dude. He's awesome. So I was actually kind of jealous because, so I've worked with Shaq a couple times over the internet. And the Full Squad guys, I was at my wedding when they did the paintball shoot.
Mhm.
And so I was super jealous because we got really different experiences. Because when I worked with Shaq, we did a Rocket League shoot, and he was on Discord, and his internet was bugging out. So
Mhm.
my comms were coming in on a delay to him. We weren't really sure what was going on, and then finally I kind of figured out. But there was this moment where I went, Shaq, Shaq, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And it was literally a 30-second delay, and he was just standing there staring at his screen. And then it all came in at once. So then he just kept going, yep, I can hear you. And then he was like, yes, bro, yes, I can hear. He like got all like he was like so mad at me, and I was like, dude, no way, Shaq hates me. I'm the only person in the world that Shaq hates. And yeah, so that was my experience with them. Luckily, he doesn't. I don't think he'll ever recognize my face attached to that voice. But Shaq did get really mad at me. And when they did that video with Shaq with the paintball stuff,
Mhm.
I have never seen. I've worked with a decent amount of athletes and different people. I have never seen someone have so much fun on a shoot and laugh and this and that. And he was like, "You should do this. You should do that." Like he was so into the shoot, so I was super jealous. But dude, Shaq is the man. I think he has like he's one of like two people like him and The Rock, and
Mhm.
maybe like there's like one woman entertainer I think who have like what they call like a perfect something score where it's like the public opinion on them. They
Mhm.
like rank it like 1 to 100. So like a controversial figure like Elon Musk or something like that might have like a 72 or something. But like Shaq and The Rock are like the only two people who have like a score of 100. Like everyone just
Mhm.
fucking loves those guys. So
That's dope, bro.
yeah, for good reason.
I love that, bro. That's amazing, bro. Yeah, what's like Full Squad Gaming, man? Like, what is that like? Is that at first I thought it was an organization. I was like, oh snap! But what is that like? What
Yeah.
inspired you to do that?
Yeah, so it's a gaming digital media publisher, and the way I describe it is we cover everything that two dudes um, would talk about over a gaming headset. So
Mm,
anything they might talk about, from uh, the game itself to the music that they're listening to maybe the NBA playoff game that's on TV and everything in between. So like we just really are trying to go after gamers and like because today's version of like they're not coming home from work and turning on a television. They're probably
mm,
turning on a PS5 or PS4 or a PC or checking out their iPhone. So that's like our whole motto is that we just want to create content that gamers enjoy, that gamers like.
mhm,
And in my eyes, NRG is so competitive with every other org. And like it's even the content creators are competitive, which is crazy when you think about it, right? Like the the it's crazy that someone like from 100 Thieves, a content creator, not even a competitor or FaZe or Team Liquid or anyone, like if we ask them to do a video with someone from NRG or this or that, there's kind of like a little bit of a barrier there for sure, where it's like, well, we're not on the same org, like we compete against each other, we're trying to all do the same thing. So full squad to me is like our Switzerland. Like
Yeah.
that's like we can do everything we need to do, like, or like anyone can collaborate with it. It's not a threatening place. It's here
Yeah.
to promote gamers. It's here to help everyone get big. And we have Jake Lucky over there, who's great. And my buddy Ben and I started. We both used to work at the NFL, and so kind of just started because I was gaming with him and some of my buddies from back home who they're football. They used to play football in college, and they started to get into Call of Duty and Warzone, and they knew nothing about orgs of the org space. And I was like, man, I want to build a brand for people like them who like are gaming every day, but like don't have a PC and even know what League of Legends is. So
It is
that's
amazing,
kind of
man.
the thought behind it.
That's amazing, man. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? I know you only got like 12 minutes. What time you gotta leave?
Yeah, I probably got a jet in like 5 or 10, but I can take a few more questions for
Okay,
sure.
okay. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? Anything like that?
I don't think so. No.
I'm trying to, because I'm gonna keep asking a few
Well,
before.
tell me now. Yeah, tell me about 6F. So I'm like super interested in what you guys are up to. Like I know, dude. I don't even know your real name. I just know you by the big CEO. So I was gonna even call you by your real name. I was like, fuck, I don't even know your real name. I just know you by that Twitter
Well,
handle. So like, what's the story?
so my name is Aleka, but it's actually Jemai. That's my real name, but people call me Aleka. But most people they only call me CEO, or what you said, big CEO. The story, man. Look, man. 2 years ago, man, I was laying in the bed, man. It was 3 o'clock. I had to work in the morning, man. And I watched a video of how to start your own business.
Oh
I
wow.
watched that. I watched it. It was 4 a.m. Had to work at 8. After I watched it, I laid in bed. I said, I'm not going back to that shit. I didn't call out. I just didn't go back. So then I started getting, because I actually have two separate sides. I have where I have my own company, where it's a design, entertainment, illustration organization. And then I have the esports side, which you guys see. So yeah, I have my own thing as well that I work on, my own business that I work on with the same exact name that I got licensed. Um, Started off as Fortnite. I couldn't find the name. We actually used to be called Acquire. Then I changed it to Balance. Then I changed it to Nothing for 2 months. And then one of my guys, he came out of nowhere. He was like, "Yo, what about Six Figures, yo?" And I was like, "We're locked in. Then we're doing. Let's get the thing."
Yeah.
And then yeah,
No,
man.
that's a sick name. That's such a sick name. I think that's so cool because 6 figures is such like
Yeah.
it's cool because what I know it reminds me of. It's not like if you're
Mm,
called like 7 figures, that'd be like a flex. But like 6 figures is like
yeah.
the come up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, yo, let's make our first like six,
Yeah.
like let's get to 6 figures, bro. Like it just
Yeah.
feels like a bigger grind to me. Like it's a bunch of
Yeah.
people grinding together.
I
I think it's
appreciate
cool.
that, man.
There's
And yeah,
also
man, like I went, man, and obviously I've been following you guys for a minute. Phase you TSM Phase 100 Thieves. I look at y'all pages every day, and I'm saying, you know what? They have the blueprint to success. What can I do to get here? What can I do to get there? Sometimes I'm not even gonna lie, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes I see you guys post, and I'm like, you know what? They posted. I'm finna post a Val clip. Then, like, what if I then right now? It was very cool because it's like you guys are blue. Like, I'm gonna ask you this. You probably don't know, but do you know about community Fortnite teams and them clout tweeting and stuff like that? You know about that?
I know a little bit about it. I should know way more. I like know that there's like TikTok Fortnite clans, which is
Oh,
crazy to me, and they like beef each other. And then I know that there's this guy named Rye.
mm-hmm,
His name's Rye. His name used to be Rye. He's like a semi-pro Fortnite
mm-hmm,
player. And yeah, he would tell me about like all sorts of these like communities and all
mm-hmm,
these like little I shouldn't call them little, but like starting out Fortnite orgs and things like
Mm.
that. But no, what is clout tweeting? Because I've seen you tweet about that before. What does that mean?
So you saw.
Yeah, you're like we're not clout tweeting anymore. I was like, what is clout tweeting?
It's like impression tweeting. So it's like,
Got it.
okay, you'll be like 100 likes to join or something, or like
Got
whoever
it.
likes
Got
to
it. Got
join.
it. Got it.
And you guys, I seen one time you guys kind of borderline do it. We use like, who's the next to join NRG? And I
Yeah,
was like,
for sure.
but y'all don't
That's
do that.
always
Like,
one in the bank.
no, and that's cool. But it's like some people be like, like this to join or something when we get.
Yeah, they do
So it's
that all
like,
the time.
and I said, and of course, clearly you be seeing me go on my rants. So I'm like, I don't want to grow using manipulation tactics for people to think
Yeah.
that they're going to be. What do you think about that? Like, do you think that is damaging when people do stuff like that and pressure farm like that? Do you think that's damaging to your brand?
Yeah, I think I mean anytime you're trying to pump up your numbers with like false numbers,
Yeah,
it's
you ain't
just
gotta do them like
never
that.
gonna
Talk
work.
about Aries
Now
as
that
well.
being said, like it's just
Yes.
never gonna last. But that being said, like there wait, hold on one sec.
People call
That
me a
being
madman. They call me
no,
a
yeah, but
madman, Grady.
that being said, there needs to be like a little bit of like something to like get the likes and stuff up. Like you can't just be posting into the abyss.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean like you don't want to just like tweet every day like yo who wants to join, who wants to join, who wants to join. It's not, one of the mods said pull up limit. I don't know what limit is, but it said pull up limit for example or something like that. I don't know.
They're
We're not trying to
community
diss
for.
anyone. I'm not
No,
trying to
yeah,
diss
we ain't
anyone on
doing
the
that.
pod, but
Yeah, we're not doing all that. But I'm just asking because of like I said, there's people because people called me a madman, Grady. They called me a madman. And the transition, as you said, from doing all this game stuff to IRL, that's what we're doing. And it's like, people saying, Fortnite montages and this. It's like, no, I want to show my
yeah.
creators. I want to have a good time. I want them to have posting cooking videos and IRL stuff. And so, yeah, I've always, because I know you see me rant about that. I've always hated, manipulation tactics to grow your brand. I've never liked that. And I've always known that one day that's going to be very damaging to you, especially, you're getting all these Fortnite kids to think that they're going to be joining off that. And then what if one day Fortnite falls off the cliff and you've got to do something else? And, now you've kind of just damaged your thing for the future. So, yeah,
Yeah,
they
no,
call me a madman, Grady.
no, I totally see where you're coming from. Yeah, you want people, dude, my best advice is like have
Mm.
as much fun as possible. Like, all right,
Mm.
so I went to like a high school that was like big and it was like I always tell people like I tell people about my high school experience. They're like, dude, did you go to like one of those high schools like High School Musical where like the jocks sit at one table and the skaters sit at one table and this and that? And I'm like, yeah, it's exactly like that, except we didn't sing songs. So basically, like there was always like there's like the cool kids, right? And they're
Yeah.
like all cool and like posted up at their lunch table. But then there's
Mm.
always that like table of kids who are like just like laughing their asses off and like having fun. And then all of a sudden, what happens is those cool kids, like one of them kind of walks over and is like, like, yo, what are you laughing about over here? You know what I mean? And then like all of a sudden, like another cool kid comes over, and then all of a sudden, like all the cool kids are alone at their table, and then the entire school is around like that table. That's like
Mm.
all the guys who are having a good time. So that's always my thing, man. Like you don't have to worry about like the clout and all that shit will come. Like you just got to have a good time, make
Mm.
good content with your friends, have fun, be
Mm.
funny. Like the more
Mm.
you try to like put off like you're clouded and cool, I feel like the harder it will come. Like you just gotta be yourself and have fun, and people will be attracted to that.
Yeah, man. Look, trust me. The reason, look, because like I said, you see my rants. People be on me, man. It's like I'm not tripping. I know what I'm doing. I know what I am doing.
Yeah.
And to get that clarification, that's an amazing thing, and I do appreciate that, man. Like I said, man, this has been a blessing, man. Have you, man? Everybody is freaking out in my DMs.
It's awesome.
And being like, oh snap, and telling me, I'm like, yo, even your CEO Andy, he just messaged said he loved the graphic and stuff. He literally just tweeted on the thing.
Oh,
I was like,
awesome.
yeah, but
Andy's the man. He's
what is
he's
that
really
like
cool
working
to.
with him?
Oh, dude, It's been amazing. He turned an Instagram influencer, ex Fortnite rapper into a real entrepreneur. So he can really work magic. If he can turn me into what I am and being able to run full squad and a lot of energy, then he can work with anyone. So that's a testament to him. He's the man. I mean,
Yeah, man,
sometimes we argue with each other, and I get off the phone with him, and I'm like, the amount of money that this man has in his bank account to be
wow.
just getting like bitched at by like a 28-year-old like fucking like guy in a t-shirt. You know, I'm wearing like a t-shirt and a backwards hat. Like I'm sure he gets off these phone calls and he's like, "Why the hell am I doing this? You know, like why did I just let this kid out?" But like that's how humble he is. He calls himself a man of the people. He flies coach. He's a dude. He's a player's coach. That's for sure. And he gets the most out of his players. So he's an
That's
awesome
amazing,
guy to
man.
work for.
That's absolutely amazing, man. How much time you got left? Give me a rundown. Give me a rundown.
Dude, I got 2 minutes. I'm gonna answer some questions. I'll rapid fire answer some of these questions in chat. Boris himself, what does he think of the explaining Grady guy? I love that guy. He's so dedicated. I have a feeling this is probably him who's asking that.
It
So
is.
I love you, bro.
This is the explaining Grady chat reveal. Boris himself.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Also, what advice would you give to a small streamer wanting to build a brand and grow a great platform to grow others? Start on platforms that are more algorithmic based instead of discovery based. So YouTube Shorts, TikTok, try to go viral on those platforms before you try to move some over to long form. How do you work with bigger clients as a manager? You got to start with smaller ones. I think the best thing you could possibly do, and this is a great thing, and it's by no means disrespect to you, Aleka, but
Mm,
like, dude, your biggest tool should be like, if you want to get into the gaming world,
uh,
work for this guy, work for Aleka, work in 6F. Let this be an entry point. NRG at one point was an entry point for people to
mm,
get into the esports world. And then we created this big team, and some people left and some people stayed, and there'll be a come
mm,
up, but like, you never say yes to whatever opportunities there are. Just get in the door somewhere and do great work. And
mm.
you know that out of anyone. I'm so much more
Yeah,
likely to hire someone who has run an Instagram account with 50 followers on it, but I check it out and it's great content and all they need is that push, than I am to hire someone who's just sitting around waiting until they work for FaZe Clan or 100 Thieves before they even lift a finger.
yeah.
So that's what I would say. Um,
I appreciate that.
yeah,
Thank you.
no, so definitely like, dude, fuck with 6F. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Hey, clip that.
Someone
a
clip it,
great
chat. Clip it,
place.
chat.
Somebody clip
Clip
that.
it. Clip it.
Clip it.
Please.
It's a great place to
Clip it.
get going. How did you see through my scats? I have some good business sense. What issues happened when created NRG? There's always ups and downs, man, but you just gotta get there. Where do I feel like esports will go in the upcoming years? I think right now, obviously, you've seen some stuff like Andy always says like we're in the trough of despair right now, so like there's a recession happening in all of the world, but during this time is when some of the greatest companies started. Amazon, Google, all these types of trillion-dollar companies started in a recession in a time when it felt like there was no money left. Yeah, so that's I think that's all my time.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it,
Hey, there
man.
he is.
I
There's
like the looking
Aleka.
nice, bro. Okay.
I thought you were catfishing for a second. I was like, I don't know if he really has abs like that, if he's not going to turn on his face cam.
Hey, man. Look, bro. I appreciate it, man. Like, look, bro. This has been amazing, bro. I know you got to go, so I'm gonna wrap it up, man. But man, thank you. Thank you. This has been everything. Everybody here. Everybody is going crazy. And I hope, we can do something else like this in the future, man. Everybody's, this is amazing, man. So I'm thankful for you, man. I'm thankful for you believing in 6F. And
Chat,
you
look it
saying
up
what
for
you
y'all.
just
Watch
said, it
this.
means everything to me, bro. It really does.
Yes.
Hey,
And
Stick with this, guys. Stay a family. Get as big as you can possibly get, and good things will come. I'm sure of it.
telling you, man, I'm trying to reach where y'all at, man, and beyond that, man. And I will. For sure. So thank you. Thank
Can
you
I get
for
one thing? Can I get one thing before you leave?
Yeah,
Can
what's
you
up?
say my name is Grady Rains and I love 6F?
Oh my God.
What's up? It's Grady Rains. Fuck with 6F. I love these guys. Thanks for having me on.
I didn't see you clipping that, baby.
All right. Peace, guys. Have a good
All right,
one.
man.
Thank you so
I
much,
appreciate
bro.
it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, stay blessed, bro. Thank you. YouTube, thank you guys so much for stopping by on this stream and checking this out. If you guys want to see more, make sure you follow the Twitch because we're gonna have more big things like this as well as community events. Join our Discord to be active with the rest of our community and follow us on Twitter so you never miss what we're doing. I love y'all. Peace out.